the one and only Bo Nickal, kind enough to join us, I do believe from the airport, as he is heading home from Florida. There he is. Thanks for doing this, Bo. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, Ariel. No problem. Happy to be on.
Okay, so interesting weekend for you, Bo. Can I ask, first let's talk about the match that we were all so very much looking forward to that didn't come to fruition. What was your perspective on the timeline? How did it all go down? And then ultimately having to make the decision to not compete.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough situation. Got there into Florida, had all my family, friends down, a lot of people, and was looking forward to competing. Saturday morning at weigh-ins, I weighed in right at 9 a.m. I woke up around 2:03, ate and drank to get up to 2:05, and then waited for about 45 minutes for Yoel to get to weigh-in and get there, and he waited a while. So once he didn't step on the scale right away, I kind of knew maybe he was over. I expected, 2, 3, 4 pounds and no worries, we'll get it going, but he stepped on at 212. So that was just something that I was like, wow, 7 pounds over. Like, this is a tough situation. I obviously want to compete, but I spoke with my coaches, my team, and we felt that it was best to move on from that, just because part of wrestling is making weight. That's just something that you grow up doing, and it's just part of the sport. There's any other tournament, it's not like, oh, you don't make weight, oh, you still get to compete. It's not part of the sport, as it is in MMA. It's very common in MMA, but as a wrestler, and I wanted to have respect for the sport, and also just feeling like him probably coming down from 225, 230, me at 205, I'm just like, man, like I felt like I signed a contract at this weight. That's what I expect to do. If he was 2, 3, 4 pounds over, like, we could probably make it work, but that was just kind of a lot to accept. So as a team, we felt like it was best to just, not take the match.
How much did you kind of stew over this? Because like you said, you fly there as a big match, your family's there. It's not as easy as just being like, hey, I'm out, right?
No, it was a lot. I mean, it was like, I obviously wanted to be respectful to RAF and let them know what we decided to do, but I tried to take a couple hours and figure it out. And we threw out there about an opportunity to have him keep his weight down for that evening and stay right around that weight that he weighed in at, but that really wasn't in the cards given his situation. And I think that had he stayed down and we competed, it really wouldn't have been the match. It's have somebody hold his weight down like that all day is not really even a great representation of him. So I still have a lot of respect for Yoel, and it is what it is, but the reality is he's a heavyweight. He's probably should just be competing at heavyweight.
How does it work with these weigh-ins for RAF? Relatively new to all of this, so is there a commission involved, or is it just the promotion running the weigh-ins?
It's the promotion running the weigh-ins, and in wrestling, you have day of weigh-ins. That's very typical. I mean, even in college wrestling, international wrestling, it's usually 1 hour before. So that's why you don't see as much weight cutting in the sport. This was, 9 a.m. weigh-in, so 12, 13 hours before competition, but still day of. And yeah, RAF is the ones running it.
Were they offering, like we see in MMA, hey, you get 20% of his purse, something like that? Or was it just, hey, do you want to take the match?
No, it's the same. They handled it the same way that MMA handled it with the purse and stuff like that.
Okay. You have received, obviously, some backlash for this. People are like, come on, man, just Colby Covington, of course, and we'll get to his comments at the presser in a moment, but like, hey, just take the match. People wrestle guys who are 20 pounds over. What is your response to people who say you should have just taken the match?
I mean, I think most people that say that have never competed at a high level in their life, or maybe even competed in general. The response from every single one of my, peers in wrestling is like, they were shocked, and they were shocked that I was even considering taking it, because it did take me a couple hours to really figure it out. And every single person I talked to, coaches, teammates, they're like, man, this is just, it's part of the sport, and you don't make weight, you don't wrestle. But yeah, I mean, it was hard for me because I obviously am a competitor. Like I said, I spent a lot of time prepping, getting ready, had a ton of people down there. So it was difficult, but I think anybody that's competed at a high level that has respect for the sport, they all understood where I was coming from. I think a lot of people that, people want to see me compete, which I do too, but they don't understand what it's like to be in that position. And this isn't all fun and games. Like, this is not a charity match. This is a professional sporting event. So, I came in professional, and unfortunately, like I said, he didn't, but it is what it is. I was ready to wrestle. If he made the weight, like, we're going, obviously. So, that's not on me.
Are you interested in revisiting this matchup, or are you done with Yoel?
I think I'm done just because I don't think he can make the weight. If he can make, I'm a 85er. I'm coming up to 205. Like, I got to go up another 7 pounds. Like, I'm already giving concessions to try to make it happen. And yeah, I mean, to me, I think that he should just compete at heavyweight, and that's fine. We're different weight classes; it's no big deal. But I would love to train with the guy. I love to get some work in. But this is professional sports. Like I said, it's not just fun charity match.
Did you ever train with him at ATT?
I was never able to, but we spoke a lot during the week and after the weigh-in, and everything was all respect. Like, I told him, dude, I really want to get some work in with you. I know you could help me a ton in my MMA game, and love to learn from a guy like that. So, like I said, everything was very respectful. I've never trained with him before, but we're definitely going to get some work in the future.
Okay. Now, was there any talk, because he stayed on the card, right? And he went up against Pat Buchanan. Was there any talk of you staying on the card and going up against someone else?
Yeah, that was brought up to me. I think that for me, I want to wrestle matches that I'm excited about, and there really wasn't an opportunity to do that. But, with the conversations with Chad Bronstein and the RAF team, I'm looking to get on the either the February card that they have coming up or the March card. So, I want to compete, and we just got to, figure it out. Like I said, I always come prepared. So, I think we'll get a new opponent and figure out who wants to compete.
He got dominated, you all did, in that Buchanan match. Were you surprised?
A little bit, but Stephen Buchanan is very good. He's a guy that's, NCAA champion and high level guy. I think that, he's been multiple time All-American. He's underrated. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that obviously Buchanan's very good. And he showed, that he's one of the best guys in the world after that performance.
And I apologize to Steven. I called him Pat. Not sure why I called him Pat, but yes, he is Stephen Buchanan. He looked great in that match. And I mean, considering how good Yoel looked in his last match for RAF, very, very impressive stuff. Let us talk about Mr. Covington. I have to say, I was watching that. We just did a whole breakdown of it. This press conference is going on, and Colby and Luke start to team up on you and talk about all this stuff. Your reaction as this is all going on, were you surprised that they started, sort of verbally going after you, attacking you? I say that in quotations because it wasn't, like I know you can hold your own, but you weren't up there with a microphone, so they're kind of talking to you via microphone, and you're sitting there without much to be able to amplify your voice.
Yeah, of course. I think that I wasn't super surprised, but just the way they handled it, I felt like, little bit unprofessional. But that being said, everything they had to say, I was like, all right, you guys, you say I'm not any good. You say I suck. Like, both you guys turned me down in RAF. That was, I know that for a fact. It was offered to them. They both said no. And then, I said, I'll wrestle either of you. I'll fight either of you. You got a problem? Like, let's handle it. And so, I don't really have too much of a problem with Luke. It is what it is. Colby's obviously still signed to the UFC. So he's a guy that I would love to get into the octagon with. And I feel like, yeah, the way they carry themselves, the way they handle themselves, it's pretty low class. It's disrespectful to the sport. A lot of the stuff that they were saying, I felt like was just super unnecessary, unwarranted, and just blatantly not true, because they're talking about, we're putting wrestling back on the map. Like, shut up, dude. You guys were begging to come on an RAF card because you want to stay relevant. So, I think that obviously the sport, RAF, it's bigger than them. And they were just super disrespectful to the entire wrestling community, which is what they started out as, which is sad to me, because I've always just loved and appreciated the wrestling community a ton. And I felt like they were just kind of just crapping on it. And I felt like I needed to say something.
Why did you feel like they were crapping on the wrestling community?
Well, they were just, again, Colby talking about how, nobody cares about wrestling. Nobody wants to watch it. The only reason anybody's watching it is because of him, which is blatantly, disrespectful to the community. It's disrespectful to every single world-class guy that was there. And, Luke, he was just super inappropriate, making a lot of like weird sexual innuendos and stuff up there. And I was just like, what's wrong with this guy? This is like just so low class. So, I mean, anybody that heard it was just like, and every single wrestler that was around me was just looking at these guys like they're straight up idiots. And honestly, like after that, I thought that, there was a chance for Colby to come in and, keep it classy, keep it professional, and every wrestler would have respected him. And he didn't have to, try to play those games, but obviously he did. He brought up the, Penn State Zandusky stuff, which I wasn't even at Penn State when that was going on, right? Like I came 5 years plus after that. So he's just totally trying to troll. But at the end of the day, I think that guy's a bum. He's an idiot. I would love to get in the cage with him. And for me, that fight would be personal. It's not something that, every single fight for me up to this point has been for sport. And this one would be a little different because I would love to just cave that guy's head in. I think he's an idiot.
As far as RAF is concerned, like you just mentioned, they're talking about you in February or March. Feels like if I'm Chad Bronstein, I call you up today and I call him up today and say, let's do this in February. Like everyone's talking about this. Have those talks happened?
Well, again, I asked for either. I didn't even specifically ask for either of those guys. I said I would have a match with either of those guys prior, and they both said no. And then when everything happened with Yoel not making weight, I said I'll wrestle Colby and I'll give him my entire purse to take the match. I'll do it for free and I'll give him my entire purse, which he obviously knows how bad I'd embarrass him, and it's not worth it for him. So I think we do it in the UFC in June, and I can just absolutely rip that guy apart and send him packing and end his career. So, that's what I'm looking forward to doing, because I don't think that he would ever in a million years wrestle me. But as far as fighting, the UFC, I think, isn't super happy with him. So they'll probably, there's a chance that they'll just make him fight me.
Wow. So you're saying White House card, you versus Colby. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah, absolutely. As we were doing the press conference post event, he said that he would that he's coming up to middleweight. And so,
wow,
all the wrestling people there asked him, said, "Why don't you fight Bo?" And he was like, I don't know. He's not on my level." It's like, all right, bro, I'm not on your level. I'm an easy check. So let's get in there and I'll embarrass you in front of the entire world.
Oh my dear. I feel like one call to the commander in chief and this fight gets done.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely going to hit him up and tell him to make it happen, because I think that guy's a fake. He's a phony. He always talks about supporting President Trump and this and that. He only does it to try to, antagonize other people. He doesn't do it because it's what he actually believes in. This guy's a fraud. He's a JUCO bum. He couldn't hack it in wrestling. He was fortunate to get into MMA at a time where, a lot of people didn't have the wrestling skills to stand up to him. But, he hasn't won other than beating Luke the other night, he hasn't won anything in 7 years. So I think the guy sucks, and I would love to just end his career. I don't think he gets it out of the first round with me.
Did you have any conversations with him? I don't know, hotel, behind the scene? Like, did you see him backstage? Any run-ins with him?
No, he keeps his own security team. They keep him in separate rooms. It's crazy. It's like, dude, I've never seen anything like this. They always got to keep him in a separate room, keep stuff in between him and other fighters. And that's not even specific to me. It's everyone, because I think everyone thinks he's an idiot. So, he won't show his face around anybody. He can't even really be part of the community. Like, it's honestly sad. But, yeah, like I said, I really hope the UFC wants to make this fight happen. He's the one that said he's moving up to middleweight. He said it earlier, I think, in 2025, and then he said it again in the press conference. So he's kind of dug himself a hole.
I thought it was interesting. He kept saying that you lost to a Dutch kickboxer, RDR, sort of implying that like a Dutch kickboxer is like an inferior type of fighter. We all know that, people from the Netherlands, Holland, are some of the best kickboxers in the world. And early in his career, he lost to someone named Warley Alves, who is nowhere near the fighter that RDR is. So like the trash talk was a little bit off point, but it's been a while since he'd been in the limelight, so maybe he just was a little bit rusty.
Yeah, a little rusty, or maybe the guy's always had like single digit IQ. So, I just think he's not very smart. He's had to be put in a position where he has to act a certain way to get fights. And it's a little bit sad, but I just don't think he's the smartest guy. And I mean, if he's really dumb, then he'll take this fight. It kind of just depends on how dumb he is, I guess.
Were you surprised that he dominated Luke like he did?
No, I mean, Luke is really bad. Luke's a great fighter. Honestly, Luke, as far as fighting goes, I have a lot of respect for Luke. He was able to, accomplish a lot, and he's a guy that actually, competes across a bunch of different platforms, different sports. So I've jawed at Luke, and he's come back at me a few times, but to be honest, I don't really have a problem with him. And yeah, I mean, Colby has more wrestling experience. He's more of a wrestler, so I wasn't surprised with the result.
Regarding your actual fighting, is it safe to say that your next fight will be at the White House? Is that the plan as of now, that you won't fight till June?
Yep, that's the plan.
Okay. And have they even started talking to you about opponents before all this came up?
No, not really talking about opponents, just bringing up what the plan is for getting me on that card and stuff like that, which as far as the communication has gone with me, that's been the plan. And I'll be ready to go. So I'm pumped and excited about that. And this situation kind of just came up organically because I never really had Colby on my radar, but with him talking crazy in the presser and then also saying he's going up to middleweight, it's like, I think it has to happen now because, I think everybody wants to see me beat that dude up, and it would be fun. It'd be electric.
I know when we spoke after MSG, you had said maybe try to get one in beforehand and then fight in the White House. Are you okay with this timeline, basically not fighting for 7 months? 7 months.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think that this is a historic event. It's going to be obviously bigger than fighting. The amount of media attention and hype that it's going to get is incredible. So I feel like I would love to be part of that card, and it'd be a big honor for me.
If the UFC isn't interested, will you try to push RAF to make the wrestling match against Colby? Because I think it would be huge for that promotion. Or is that not something that you're going to pursue?
Well, he would never in a million years wrestle me. I mean,
okay.
It would be terrible. I think it's more likely that he would fight me. But that being said, I'm sure that he's gonna not want to do that. So the UFC is probably gonna have to just say, "Hey, dude, take this fight or you're done." Because again, they haven't really been enjoying working with him from what I've heard as of recently, and he's on his way out already. Everybody knows that. But yeah, I think that I would just like to compete against him in anything because I think smashing that guy's face in would just be fun. I'd enjoy it.
And I'll let you go in a moment because I know you do have to make a flight. And I know how stressful it is to fly with young kids. So I really do appreciate this. I just want to ask you a couple more things and I'll let you go very quickly. I'm sure you heard your head coach Mike Brown's comments about you being moved a little bit too fast. He spoke to MMA Fighting about this. What did you agree with the assessment? The quick quote is he was moving a bit too fast. We all knew it. He knew it. I knew it. We all knew it. Management knew it. But you're also getting paid very well. You're not going to get the big bucks if you're fighting guys on the prelims. If you're going to get bigger paychecks, then you have to go out there and get pushed and not give you layups. Experience is so much in the sport. Experience is everything. What did you make of that quote from Mike?
Yeah, I agree with Coach Brown. I think that in the moment it's tough because, you're trying to make the best decisions for your career, and you're also wanting to compete at the highest level. And for me, I think that I look at the DeRitter fight that I lost. And the reality is I feel like I just wasn't as well prepared as I should have been. I think that, making adjustments and figuring certain things out that I learned in that fight, that's going to help me so much down the road. And Coach Mike is an amazing coach. And I think that anybody can look at my trajectory and when I started this sport and where I'm at now and say that it's gone fast. I don't think that's like a crazy take. It's pretty much objectively true relative to anyone that's ever competed. So I feel like, I'm taking all those lessons that I've learned and I'm grateful for them. And I'm even grateful for the loss that it's just going to help push me forward. So, everything that Coach Mike said, I think is on point, and it's really nobody's fault. It's just the reality of the situation. And I'm never going to be one to cry about it. It just is what it is. And I'm going to get better from it.
And lastly, just wanted to ask you about Gable Steveson. Everyone freaking out over him. Everyone's saying that he's inevitable for the UFC. Some predicting he'll be a champion by the end of this year. What are you seeing out of him, and are you surprised at how well he's doing so quickly in MMA?
I'm not surprised at all. I mean, Gable's a freak athlete. He's an Olympic gold medalist wrestler. He's a guy that I think with very little training can compete with the best guys in the world. So a lot of people obviously have compared us, both coming from wrestling backgrounds, and I hope Gable does bigger and better things than me and does and is the champ and continue to improve. And I think representing wrestling as a sport, him doing that is huge because I want to see the best guys in wrestling come over and get into the MMA scene, and it's exciting. So overall, I feel like definitely going to be rooting for him and excited to see his career progress. And I think he definitely has really no ceiling on him.
Last one, and I just need a name. You're very much a part of RAF. I like what they're doing. Jones, DC, and RAF. Who wins?
Oof. That's tough. I think that's tough. Obviously,
we just need a name. We just need a name. No fence sitting.
Don't do that to me, Ariel. Don't do that.
Fine. But it's intriguing, right?
Great. You're so good at this journalism stuff, man.
It's intriguing, right?
No, they got to do it. They got to do it for sure, 100%.
That would be incredible. All right. Well, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it very much. Didn't love that exchange. Thought you held your own. Tough to do so without a microphone. Respect to you. Hopefully they make that fight. Most importantly, thanks for doing this before boarding again. I know how stressful it can be. So thanks so much and safe travels home.
Thanks, Ariel. Everybody tweet at Colby and tell him to fight me. Tell him I said he's a little puss. So let's get it.
All right. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Bo. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. The great Bo Nickal joining us. And yes, do as Bo said, if you'd like. And I kind of feel like that's a doable fight, by the way. I sort of feel like that's a very, very doable fight. Both of them have connections to the commander-in-chief. And by the way, the commander-in-chief that I was speaking of was Donald Trump. I feel like they have a great chance of making that happen. That would be very interesting. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.